What should not be lost in these overwhelming statistics, however, is that this massive group of immigrants was actually millions of individual people. These new immigrants from Europe were in fact simple families from hundreds of hometowns and villages, like Hansbeck, Belgium, and Plati, Italy, heading to join friends and families who had arrived before them in hundreds of new hometowns, like Mishawaka, Indiana.
Like my grandfather, my nono, he came over here when he was 16. He had family here, didn't speak a lick of English, and he had family here. So that's how he ended up in Mishawaka.
It's a beautiful country, but there's no work there. And that was the problem with everybody coming over here.
So a lot of them remember the streets paved in gold. Yeah, turned out they were working for 10 cents an hour.
They came over here and they were hardworking people. Most of them were hardworking people.
My great-great-grandparents on my mother's side, they had most of their children in Belgium, brought them and came across on the boat, and they spoke very little English.
My mother and father only spoke Italian. They didn't. The only way I learned how to speak American is because I was running around with the young kids when I was a young kid.
Yeah, well, and of course the guys sitting at the bar were all Belgians, and most of them spoke Flemish. And we'd speak English to them, and they'd answer you in Flemish. And that way both sides eventually learned what the heck the other side was talking about.
The transitions to their new lives were rarely easy, but they survived and eventually thrived by banding together, sharing their successes, and learning from their failures. What started as necessary friendships gradually merged into more formal organizations created to protect and care for each other. About a century later, 3 of these organizations are still active in Mishawaka, Indiana. The Diamikis, the BK, and the Di Loretto clubs have certainly changed over their years in existence, but their basic purpose of taking care of each other still remains.